8 basic Chinese character radicals, since how they were 3000 years ago in China, when they were drawings, up to the shape and meaning they have today. Part 2. Can you imagine a drawing to represent the idea of lack or need? The Chinese had a quite intuitive idea. They drew a person with an open mouth. People naturally open their mouths when something is impressive or desirable. That's why you have expressions such as open-mouthed. Its shape was modified this way, reaching the form it has today. Originally, this drawing meant yawn, but in context it acquired different meanings, since it's easy to see a person with an open mouth as someone singing, drinking, or drooling, and so on. A child with an open mouth waiting for their mother to bring them food is a quite intuitive picture for need. And that was how this character acquired the meaning lack. 2. Look at how it's easy to understand the original meaning of this one. It's the pictogram for fire. Today it acquired this shape, which is a tip with 2 sparks. As a radical, it brings ideas related to fire, such as explosion, burn, lamp, or ashes. 3. In another video, I mentioned how this character is special because its meaning changes if it appears on the left or on the right. In the left, it's a simplification of a mountain range, but when it appears on the right, it's a simplification of another drawing. In antiquity, its drawing was like this: a kneeling person with a circle above. This circle is interpreted as representing an area, a location. One possibility is that it may represent walls surrounding a city, a quite common thing in ancient China. In other words, it's an area inhabited by people, therefore, village. It appears in words such as capital or suburbs, things related to where people live. 4. A well-known character is this one, which means sun. Originally it was just a field ball, but to simplify, they started to draw a stroke inside instead. Since in the current version of Chinese characters everything is straight, the sun ended up becoming a square. Inside other characters, it usually brings the idea of having something to do with sunlight. Appear inside, shine, dawn, time, or early. 5. Many characters came from stick figures, and since stick figures are known for being quite simple drawings, they usually don't have 5 fingers. The most common in ancient China was to draw only 3 fingers. This one is the radical for hand, which appears to represent many of the actions hands can do. In many cases, it appears holding tools, such as in support or work. Another hand also appears alongside it in friend or receive. 6. This shape comes from a vertically drawn dog, but if we take a look at the characters it appears in, we see it doesn't refer only to dogs. It appears within monkey, boar, raccoon, and fox. Hence, we see it represents many other kinds of animals. But you may ask, does it really represent any animal? Characters such as crane or owl have another radical, the one for bird. That means the dog radical in general only represents animals known for being similar to dogs, usually 4-legged mammals. 7. This radical originally came from the drawing of a silk thread. It appears in characters such as rope, end, red, grandson, and continuous. Look at how some of them are metaphorically compared to a thread. A good example is the character for grandson, which is somebody connected by the thread of lineage. Many radicals for colors and tissues bring this radical because silk was used to wear and to write on. 8. Maybe you know the pictogram for moon, which is one of the most basic characters, but you may have noticed how it appears within characters such as arm, pig, grow, or shoulder. And this is because in these characters it is not actually the moon, but a very similar radical, the meat. This similarity comes from since antiquity. 3000 years ago they already were quite similar. In the current script to separate, the meat used to be written with slanted strokes, to differ from the moon. But in the end, it was easier to write everything as the moon, since context allowed us to differ. So whenever you see this moon in a character relating to meat or body, you already know it means meat. Did you see how easy it was to learn these 8 radicals? Chinese characters can get much more interesting and fun when you really know their origin and history. By the way, did you know that they were invented in ancient China to communicate with the dead? If you'd like to know more about their curious history, just click in the next video.